see that, like, she could do so much more, right? And I knew for sure that that's not what I wanted my life to be, like, just completely, just to have kids and have a family. Me doing that. I knew that I wanted to do so much more, and I knew that I didn't want to be stuck in LA, in that house, in that mindset, forever or anymore, to be honest. And I realized in that pivotal moment, there was like a knock on the door with the mail. The mail came that day, and it was so beautiful. It was just one picture of a redwood. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to the redwoods, Avenue of the Giants, sequoia trees. I mean, they're like the biggest trees in the world. And it was just one postcard from Humboldt State University that said, "We'd love to have you, come take a free tour of the university." And I was like, Humboldt, where the heck is that? And it was so far away, Northern California, for those of you guys that don't know. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is my chance. I mean, I got accepted to other schools. Not trying to brag, I was a valedictorian, and I did get really, really good grades in school because I came from a poor family, and I knew that nothing was really gonna change my life and my family's life unless I made that change. So I consciously was always studying, and then when I got that postcard of the redwood tree, I was like, oh my God, I need to go there. Wherever these trees are in the world, I don't even care if it's not even in the US, wherever these trees are, I have to go there because I've never seen a tree that big, and I just thought, man, wherever trees grow that big, like dreams are possible to grow that big. So, yeah, so that was like the first moment in my life where I was like, I'm going to take charge of my dreams, and I'm going to go live my best dreams. So I went to Humboldt State University, and the lesson with that I'd like you guys to take away is that, and that always came back to me, is no one's going to come and save you. So, kind of deep, but no one's coming to save us, you know, this is our experience, it's our journey, it's up to us to make the most of it, and it's never too late to make that choice to start living your best life and your best dreams. So, then, you know, I went to Humboldt State University, I got a full scholarship, but I didn't want to live on campus. I wanted to have like a rich cultural experience. I wanted to live with like the people and the townspeople and like get to know them and fully immerse myself. And I did that. I lived off campus, and I remember getting a big, like, you know, you get like a big financial aid check to pay for your tuition, pay for your housing and whatnot. And it was the first time I had to like manage my own checkbook and all that stuff. It was just really out there in the world. And so I had this check, and I just wrote a big check to my landlord, you know, to the property management company. And actually just signing my name, and I wasn't sure what the amount was going to be, so I didn't put to who or the amount. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can guess what didn't happen. So picture, you guys see cane grass here. There's cane grass out there. Picture like super tall, 10-foot, 12-foot cane grass, 5'1" little me walking along. I'm gonna go pay my rent for the whole year, so I don't have to worry about it. It'd be the responsible thing, right? And I go, and this gush of wind came, and then all of a sudden, this freaking money order thing disappeared. And I was like, no, where is it? I was like, I need that. That's like my whole life, you know. Like I worked so hard for that. And I'm looking, and I couldn't find it. This beautiful man comes up, right? Like all like white knight kind, and I was like, help me! And I was a total mess. I was like trying to look in the grass. I mean, really talking grass, and I'm trying to look for this check. Couldn't have gone far. It's this little quad between my apartment and the property management where you have to pay. It was so close. Like, yeah, when you got. Long story short, I did not find the check, okay? And I stayed in school. But I did fall in love for the first time, and I had children, I started a family, and it didn't happen right away, but I fell in love. And I always took that moment of like, the lesson with that is like, you think that you have, you know, a plan for yourself. And sometimes, like, the universe just sends you something else, right? And so we always have the choice to make new choices in our life. And before I butcher that, can I have my little lessons here? Every choice every choice we make sets us up for the next soul lesson. So every choice that we make sets us up for our next soul lesson. And I really feel like life is a series of soul lessons, of learning and growing and sharing. And so every choice that we make is setting us up. You guys coming here, this decision to be here right now, to focus on yourself, to put this good energy into everything that we're doing today, that is going to have a ripple effect. And that is going to have some outcome later that you probably never even dreamed of. But it's happening. It's in the works because you're making a decision. So once again, it all starts with making a decision and following it. And even as you're following it, your path can lead you somewhere else. So how to live your best dreams with authenticity in abundance. Authenticity breeds abundance. When you are your authentic self, you are tapping into your abundant true self. So tap into that. Don't be afraid. Don't play small. This is not the year to play small. This is the year to shine, to be loud, to learn whatever you guys have been wanting to learn. To really dive in. This is the time. So I stayed in school for about 2 years. Started a family. We moved up north to Oregon, California, and we opened up a yoga business. It's a yoga business, everyday people yoga, all on donation. And don't get me wrong, I was so happy. Like, I knew one of my callings in life was to be a mom. And so I had fulfilled that role. I knew that that's what I wanted to do my whole life. So I had my babies, and I knew what kind of mom I wanted to be more than anything. So that's what I embodied when I started my family. But with that, I just felt like incomplete. Like my soul was like still searching for something more. And I felt almost like ungrateful. Like, oh, I have my kids, I have my family, we have a business, like why is my soul not like super happy, right? What is missing? And what was missing is that my soul wasn't happy. My soul was not completely fulfilled because I was not meant to just be a mother, right? I was meant to be so much more, and I was not just meant to cater to one person. I was meant to help and heal lots of people, and be available to lots of people. So, true finding that, I was always more in the backdrop of the yoga business, more with online work. Since I had the babies, I was a stay-at-home mom. And he was like the yogi, the star that everybody saw and recognized, which was totally great. It worked out. It was more his path than mine. So I started to fall into like side hustles, right? Because I'm like, I need to do my own thing, bring in my own money. So I started slinging bags. Have you guys ever heard of 31 bags or something? I don't know why we need 31 bags. But I was like obsessed with this MLM building. I was like, this is my thing. I'm like selling on the bag lady. It was ridiculous, like literally ridiculous. For anyone who knows me. But I went through that whole process, and with the bag, I was like, I actually like never even had a bag until I started selling bags. So I was like, I don't think this is my thing. So then I fell into essential oils. And essential oils, doTERRA essential oils, was really amazing because it felt more in line with healing and healing arts, and I already complemented the yoga and meditation that I was already deeply practiced in. So an amazing thing happened when I started working with essential oils and tapping into, myself and my own inner voice, I guess, is I would hear sounds. I would hear voices. Every time I touch a different oil, I would hear like different sounds and different music. So I was really like tuning into that. I was like, there must be something wrong with me. So I discovered that there was this tribe in Costa Rica called the Bravery Tribe. They heal people with sounds and with songs. Apparently we all have a song when we were born that the earth sang. And they sing the song for you, the shaman's there, and they heal you with plant medicine. So not all of them are psychedelic, they'll be like a plant that's just for you, and they'll sing to you your song and the plant, and they'll sing the plant song, and it's like a beautiful way of healing. So I was like, oh, I want to go there, like wherever they are, like I want to go there, which was in Costa Rica, and I was like, okay, I need to make it to Costa Rica, but following my own like inner guidance, I was like, okay, I'm not just gonna go to Costa Rica. So going back to living your best dreams, I've always been a really took my kids, which at the time were 5 and 7, backpacking for 5 weeks in Costa Rica to find the shaman lady. I had to follow my inner, because my soul was literally not happy. It just was like, it was not going to rest. So 5 weeks in Costa Rica, it was hell. Not hell like in a bad way, it was just, I had little babies, I had to backpack. I was very rigid about the way that I wanted things to go. So I made it there, and basically, I want you guys to take away from that is when your soul's purpose is unfulfilled, it will scream at you from the inside until you do something to change it. So if you're feeling restless, if you're feeling, just uncertain about something, tune into your soul and follow that, because that's going to lead to something wonderful that you probably couldn't even imagine, and that's going to really lead to full happiness. I feel like you'll really appreciate everything you have in life: health, family, friends, connection, success in your business, if your soul is fulfilled. That should be like number 1. So I'm in Costa Rica, I find a shaman, right? She leads me to the Bribri tribe, the other shaman. So it's whole like, find the shaman. And anyway, I found the shaman. I had this whole shamanic initiation thing, which sounds crazy. I did not go there to be shamanly initiated or anything like that. I went there with a little box of 70 tiny little samples of essential oils that I was like, I'm going to meet people randomly in the street that need an essential oil that is for them, and I'm going to just share them. It was not like a money thing. Just like, I need to find people who are around. This is how I'm going to find it. And so she showed up right as the sun was going down. My kids were like, where are we staying in a hotel? Like, what's the deal for the night? My oldest was really good about like, Mom, what are we gonna do? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask this lady if she knows what the shaman is. And I asked the girl, and then she was like, oh yeah, that's my grandpa. Like, who are you? And I was like, well, it sounds crazy, but I had a dream, and like, I'm supposed to be your grandpa. She was like, okay, come. And so they take us to this tribe. I open up my oils, and there are all this like tribe people were all like, how'd you get these oils? Like, they'd never heard of essential oils. They'd heard about the plants and the plant pumps. They didn't know about essential oils, which was so crazy to me. And I was like, you guys have all these essential oils. So it was a really great way to connect with them, for them to be able to preserve their land by creating it not just indigenous, but it had, I forget the right term at the moment, but they were able to protect their land because they had cultural and medicinal value. And so they'd stop like the devastation of more forests and stuff like that. So that was really good. That's a side story. But Timothy Jackson, I was there for like a week. He was just kind of watching me. Everyone would like sit by a fire and he'd tell stories, and I share the oils. I'm down to like my last 5 oils, okay? I have 70 in 5-week trip. And we go up, and these people come in and are like, Timoteo, we need you. There's like an emergency in the village. And he's like, okay, we're going. And then all of a sudden he looks at me and he's like, you're coming? And I'm like, me? No way. I got my kids. Like, what the heck? I'm not going. And then he's like, no, they're finding the village people. And I was with the village antics, and I was like, okay. And I was like, well, shit, I gotta go. Like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna like see the shaman in action. So we get up there, and this man has like, I don't even know what was going on, but he just had like a really bloated belly, and he was in a lot of pain, and he couldn't move, and they bring the shaman, and he comes in, and then I'm like, okay, I'm watching the guy, and then all of a sudden he disappears. Disappeared on me. And they were like, okay, lady, you have the box with the oils. And I'm like, no, this is essential oils. You guys need to call 911. Have you called 911? Seriously. And they're like, yeah, we called 911, but we're in the middle of the jungle. It's going to take a while to get here. And then I'm like, oh my God, where's Timoteo? Like, this is not funny, I'm kind of like freaking out. And then all of a sudden I was like, this man's like, ah. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something. What do I have? So I'm like searching through my little box with leftover little oil samples, okay? And then I'm like, okay, I got, peppermint. Peppermint helps with pain. Okay, I'm gonna put some peppermint on his belly and hopefully I'm like, you still feel pain? He's like, I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And basically I have peppermint, tea tree, rosemary, and oregano. Timoteo. And I was like, dude, like, we could really use you. That's not funny. That was your brother, you know, like, I need to get to the village and find my kids and make sure my kids are okay. My kids were tested bad, they were fine. He was like, you know, he said some really special things to me that were just for me. But basically, at the end of it, when he said, go cleanse in the river. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go cleanse in the river. So go cleanse in the river. And as soon as I got to the river, there was this beautiful sunrise, and I had my aha moment. You know, if you ever have the aha moment of like you get your life's purpose, you just get it, and you just know what you're supposed to do, and you're just like, okay. And I just was laughing and playing in the river, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have to drag my kids through 5 weeks in Costa Rica. I didn't even have to go anywhere. I literally could have sat really within myself and found those answers, because the answers are really there the whole time. So the answers are already inside us. You know, we don't have to really go anywhere to search these things, but it doesn't hurt to have a really fun adventure as well. So we made it back to the mainland, and there was this big shift in the relationship where the father of my kids was called to be a renunciate and live in India full time with his guru. And at the time, I heard this bell in my ears. It was like ding, and it said Maui. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you should go to India and do that. We're gonna go to Maui. And he's like, Maui? How are you gonna go to Maui? How are you gonna afford it? And I was like, I don't know, man. You follow the voice in your head. I'm gonna follow the voice in my head. We've always had this like kind of openness of following spirit, and spirit is foremost, and we supported each other in that. So I appreciate him for that so much. And then I went and I Googled what is Maui, because I didn't know. I thought Hawaii was one island. I was like one of those. And when I Googled it and I saw that it was like freaking paradise and tropical beaches, I was like, thank you, God. I was living in Oregon at the time. I was like, I'm not going to be in the cold anymore. It's going to be wonderful. I didn't know anybody here. And I just took the leap of faith, like, okay, you go to India, I'm going to Maui. Maui, I'll be here. It seriously really did. And it's been 8 years of my journey in Maui. And in that 8-year journey, it's been nothing but abundance and blessings. And I'm so grateful. And through that process, you know, I started with 3 jobs and not knowing anybody, to managing 3 spas, to opening up my own spa, to even facilitating and envisioning this whole wellness retreat. So, you know, when you live authentically, it creates this abundance in your life. And so, one of the biggest takeaways that I would love for you guys to take, and that I just discovered recently, that's like such a huge monumental part of my whole evolution, and it's a great deal thanks to Maui, is that you know, I've always believed that we manifest our own reality, that we're in charge, right? You just gotta go and you gotta do it. But there was a little key component in there that I didn't realize I was missing until literally last year, which was what you're manifesting is also manifesting you. And that, for me, was a game changer, because it wasn't all of a sudden this like struggle or this like journey, uphill journey to get to myself, right? Or to get to my goals. It's this magnetic pull to each other. Your lovers, your friends, your business partners, you know, your